Right guys, how's it going? Welcome back. Good news. Today we're going to collect a Dacia Sandero that I've agreed to buy for just £2,200. 2,200 pounds. Two little ducks. The name of Taylor Swift's best-selling album, I think. Anyway, the description I've had of this was quite interesting. I bought this from a trader friend of mine and he said, it'll make a car, but it needs some attention. There are loads of warning lights on the dash and they've had a dog. So I thought, I'll buy loads of cars from this guy. Some good, some bad, and everything in between, so I can't really say no. I figured with a little bit of work, this is probably a £5,000 car retail, and they do always sell well. People like them, they're just a no-frills, no-nonsense car. Every single time I've had a Duster or a Sandero or a Logan, they always seem to find a new home relatively quickly, so I hope this is no exception. Anyway, let's go and have a look, shall we? Well, we're here. It's a Stepway. They do the Sandero and then they do the Sandero Stepway. Now the Stepway is a slightly jacked up version. That's probably better news. These days people like anything that's a little bit higher than anything else. You know, it looks all right. It's got alloys, so I'm thinking straight away it's a, what's the top spec called? A Laureate. A Laureate. Tyres look quite good on the front. There's a little bit of a scuff mark, but it would buff out. Could do with some new reg plates. That looks all right, you know. I quite like the roof bars. It's quite utilitarian and purposeful. This might make me some profit. Just gonna jinx it, haven't I? Right, as always then, let's do a quick vehicle history check using Car Vertical. This will tell us a bit more about the car. So, all we do is go to carvertical.com, type in the vehicle reg or the VIN. In this case it is SL63. Wish it was an SL63, that'd be a much more interesting video, wouldn't it? Olive, OLV, check vehicle. This is currently checking millions of cars across dozens of countries' databases. It's really important that you do one of these checks before you hand over any cash for a used car or motorbike. It'll tell us whether it's ever been stolen, had a mileage rollback, has outstanding finance, or ever been involved in a recorded accident. It isn't expensive and it's cheaper still if you use my promo code HIGHPEAK. You'll get 10% off each and every check that you do. I'll leave the link below in the video description, or alternatively, just use the promo code HIGHPEAK. Simple as that. Right, and the report is ready. So that is a Dacia Sandero 2013. It's never been stolen, the mileage is fine, there's no outstanding finance, and here comes the rain, and it's never been involved in a recorded accident. That's quite good. The last known mileage was 89,000 miles. I was told this had done 90 something, 97 I think. But the mileage is fairly consistent every single year. Let's find out about the MOT then. So, it's, right, it's a 2013, classed as an SUV. I suppose it is these days, isn't it? 1.5 diesel. The old Renault Nissan engine. Which, as long as it's been maintained well, should be okay. Usually people don't maintain these and then you have issues with injectors and turbos and all that sort of stuff. Right, it was registered in the UK in December 13, so it's a 63. Right, the ownership changed in 16, had a plate change. Now because it's an S plate, it means it's originally from Scotland, so you have to watch out with Scottish cars that they're not rusty underneath. Had another plate change, had another ownership change in 21, then it had a plate change again, BS02 TOT. BS, very apt. Should be BS02 TAT, shouldn't it? Right, so the last MOT was in July last year, so it runs out any day now. It passed its MOT on the 19th of July last year, and the only advisory item was offside front shock absorber has light misting of oil. Right, well that's not too serious, is it? By the way, if you do one of these reports, make sure you download the report, otherwise after 30 days it expires. But if you download it and save it, then it's there forever. It is indeed a Stepway Laureate. Right, now the rain stopped slightly. Let's quickly go and have a look around it. See how big this dog was they had. See how hairy it was. Right then. Well, the first bit of good news is that we've got both sets of keys, which look like they've come straight off an old Renault, which is basically what this is underneath. I mean, the bodywork looks okay. It's had those door protector things down the side, which somebody's taken off and then opened into a wall repeatedly. There's a little bit of a scuff there on the plastic. I'm not too concerned about that. Right, these aren't alloys at all, they're trims, aren't they? Crafty. They're like those Vauxhall style of trims which go over the steel wheel, which look like alloys, but they're not. Anyway, right, this tyre looks very old because we've got lots of cracking around the edge. It is a Michelin, and it is from, what year is it? 2013, so we've got a 10-year-old tyre there. That'll have to be replaced. Got lots of little scuff marks everywhere, but not too deep. You can't get your nail in them, so they should buff out. It's black, but I don't know if it's just my eyes or the light or the dirt, but it looks almost like a very, very dark grey rather than a black. Roof bars. Some sort of remnant of a sticker there. So the Stepway is basically a regular Sandero, but you just get much better ground clearance. So it's easier to get in and out of. Up front we've got a land sail on about 4mm of tread, that's alright. Soft bumpers with a bit of a big gap there. Needs some fresh plates, headlamps are okay. We've got a scuff mark here that's broken the paint in several places. I could just paint that part of the bumper, you know, and then just lose the paint into that thin part there. That would work. Got another land sail here on, again, about 4mm of tread, and some more marks on the very soft wing. This is your average 10-year-old car, really. Lots of little marks. Oh dear, they were a Spurs fan. I know they exist, but I don't think I've ever met one in real life. Over here we have got a high performance from Orium. Never heard of it. That looks ancient as well. Look at the cracking. So we've got 2 rear tyres then. We need 2 new rear tyres. I could get land sails, then we've got a matching set. Moving around the back, we've got parking sensors. We've got a non-matching rear plate, so I'll have to change those plates. And lots of little marks here, where someone's probably tried to buff it. We've got some letters here that somebody's stuck on badly and then peeled off. OLA? I like reading Braille, this. OLA. I don't know why someone stuck that on. Perhaps that was someone's initials, perhaps. Don't know. Ola? Cola? Gola? Who knows? Let's have a look inside then, see how bad this dog hair situation is. Quite bad. Quite bad. I'm a big dog lover, but I've never had it up front here under my driver's seat. Right, we need a fresh set of mats. That will transform it. It's weird, isn't it? Everything about Dacias, or Dacias, is just cheap, but I do quite like that. It's sort of unashamedly cheap. You know exactly what you're getting. We've got electric mirrors. The same audio controls there that you get on an Alpine. Right. We've got this light switch here for your fogs, I think. How do I open the bonnet? It'll be on the other side, won't it? Now the big deal with this engine is a cam belt. We need to find out if it's ever had a cam belt, because at 97,000 miles and 10 years old it will need one. We've got a broken vent there. That's not a big deal, I can order any one of those quite easily. Large screen media thing, which will probably be as slow as that Renault Captur one I had. It will all clean up, this. It will clean up. Right. My valeters aren't going to like me, but what can you do? Oh yeah, this is very grubby. Would make quite a good family car though, this, because you've got Isofix points in the back. Yeah, electric rear windows. We've got the split folding rear seat, which I think was an optional extra on some Dacias. I think it is. On the lower spec ones, it all folds. So the fact this is a 60/40 is quite a big deal. We'll have to get that sticker off, otherwise it won't be worth an awful lot, will it? Hashtag football banter. Right, we've got a Citroen load liner. The previous owner of this obviously had a good taste in cars, from a Citroen to a Dacia. And with that mean they took the load liner with them. Right, we've got a tennis ball there. Obviously they've been playing catch with the dog. Right after the dog had its fur trimmed inside the car. Yeah, I'm quite impressed with that, really. 2 tyres, buff, plates, mats, good clean. Some profit here. Ah, bonnets on struts. We've got a Renault Nissan battery, obviously the original one. It's lasted well, or they've gone back to Dacia for a replacement. A little bit of rust here, a bit of corrosion. They've combined the oil filler cap with the dipstick. It looks very black, but then it is a diesel, so it's just how they look, really. No engine cover, but I don't know if this engine had one. A lot of French stuff these days doesn't come with an engine cover. Right. I'm just looking for any obvious leaks. Or, you know, frayed belts or anything like that, but it all looks okay. I'm amazed a car as cheap as this has got a strut to hold the bonnet up. Let's fire her up then and see what warning lights we've got. This won't be a surprise because I was told that it's got several warning lights on. Not sure which one. DPF maybe? Curly whirly pit. Oh no, that's gone out. Right, the service light's on. That's my handbrake, obviously, that'll go off as soon as I release the brake. Fuel light's on, I can soon fix that. We've got an engine light. Greatest hits, FM. So the previous owner of this was probably, I don't know, in the 50s, 60s? How do I turn it off before I get a copyright strike? We've got this light here, which I've never seen before. It's like a, I don't know, like a graph, like a chart of some description. Or it's the picture of 3 peaks, 3 mountain peaks. Could be my new logo, couldn't it, that? Let me know in the comment section below if you know what that light is, because I've never seen that in my life. No idea. How many go off when I fire up? Oh. Right, we are desperately low on fuel. I've got nothing left in the range. My spanner light's on, so it's due a service. What's that all about? I've got no idea. In fact, I know what I'll do. Just check the windows work. No, they all work. Very good. I could check the owner's manual, couldn't I? That's what I shall do. Don't like doing that because I'm a man. It's like admitting defeat, isn't it? While I'm in here then, let's look at the service history. So we've got a media nav. So this must have nav as well. How do I turn the volume down? The infotainment system in these is quite poor. Ah, right. I agree. There we go. Very slow to respond. Hungerford Lane. But no, oh, Hungerford Bridge, right, okay. It's been to Hungerford, this car. Right, we've got sat nav. I can knock this off then. You just have to keep your finger pressed firmly on the power button for about 30 seconds. Oh, there we go. Right, service history then. There isn't any. Ah, right. I wonder, oh, there we go, yeah. With Renaults, the service book, they don't have a separate service book. It's built into the back of the service book, to the owner's manual. So, let's have a quick look. I just saw oh, look at this. Oh, yes. So, we've got a... This is full history, this. Ah, timing belt done as well. What a result. Right, so it's been done at 12,000, 20... Is that a 4? I don't know. 37. All done by Renault or Dacia. 49, oil and pollen. 59, oil and pollen. 70, with the timing belt done. That's a big result. Saves me £350 straight away. Then we've got Rizzo's Auto Repairs, done at 77. Front pads and discs, rear brake stripped and cleaned. Okay. And it had a major service, that was at 77. Then at 89, last July, when it was MOT'd probably, JWP Automotive, they did oil, air, fuel, and brake fluid? Don't know what that means. It looks like bi-fuel, doesn't it? But it can't be, it must be brake fluid. So we've got history. Bear with me 1 second then. I won't make you sit through this while I try and study the owner's manual. Bear with me while I try and find out what this little funny logo means. Right. If the orange warning light, like that, comes on while driving, drive carefully to an authorised dealer. Failure to do this may risk damaging your vehicle. The red warning light requires you to stop immediately for your own safety. Wow. That's not good, is it? What colour was mine? Oh, mine's red. Obviously mine's red. Ah dear. Right. Well, at least we know now, don't we? Should we go and drive it? Even though the owner's manual has told me not to. Let's see how the old Sandero Stepway performs. Right. Here comes the rain again. Oh, that's not good, is it? Is it because I've sat with the ignition on? Come on, you. Should we try and jump it? I don't think I've got enough of a roll here, have I? I'm gonna end up flying into this. Try it in a second. Yeah, that didn't work, did it? I hate cars, do you? Right, let me go and get my booster pack. And maybe a fuel can. Might save me a job. For now, it just looks like this has been dumped, like some sort of GTA cheat. Right, I'll see you in a minute. What are you all doing on your Sunday? You trying to jumpstart a Dacia? Sun's coming out at least. I know it's in a green can, but this is actually diesel, don't worry. I'm not an idiot. Despite appearances. Give it a good old shake so we don't leak everywhere. Wish me luck. There we go, listen to her purr. Where were we? My fuel light's still flashing, but then I did only put a gallon in. Bit of wheel spin there from my 90 horsepower motor. It's quite aggressive, doesn't it? Does my air conditioning work? I wouldn't have thought so. Right, well, this being the Laureate has got a nice leather trimmed steering wheel, air conditioning. It actually drives okay, despite the warning signals telling me to stop immediately. Steering feels okay, the brakes feel okay, the clutch is alright. It's an old-fashioned 5-speed box. Handbrake's alright. Right, and we're off. My air conditioning, I think, has got a little bit of life left in it, surprisingly. Need to order a new vent, don't I? This is actually alright. Motor fresh. Probably quite old, that. She pulls okay, so the turbo's engaging. It's not whistling. Can't see any black smoke under acceleration. The brakes aren't grinding. I can hear something. Might be a bit of tyre noise or something. Sounds a bit wheel bearing-y, but could be a bit of tyre noise, that. It engages all the gears correctly, there's no crunches. I wonder why those lights are on. Why is it telling me to stop immediately? You know what, actually? It's making that noise when I rev it, which makes me think it's some vibration from some sort of heat shield, perhaps. Because when I don't rev it, the noise stops. Right, it's not a wheel bearing then, or tyre noise. Some sort of vibration coming from somewhere. I shall get my mechanic to look at that then. Right, what shall I do with this first? It needs my mechanic's attention, really. I was just about to say I might take it for a quick wash, but if that is something serious, then, you know, I didn't even really ought to be driving it right now, let alone leave it for half an hour ticking over at a car wash. I think then, first stop is my mechanic's. let them plug it in and diagnose it. I was thinking though, originally I paid £2,200 for this car, spend maybe £1,000 on it, so it'll owe me 3,200, and then it should be worth £5,000. But I'm hoping, I hope these aren't famous last words, I'm hoping I don't need to spend a full £1,000 on it. The timing belt's been done, so that saved me £350. So, let's see if we can do this for £800. If we can have this all done, owe me £3,000, then it should be a decent profit margin. Wish me luck. Catch up with you later. Cheers, guys. Well, do you remember that scruffy Dacia Sandero that I bought that was covered in dog hairs and had an engine warning light on? This is it. It has been fully transformed. I can't remember what my budget was. Did I give myself a budget? I paid £2,200. I was thinking my budget would be about £8,000. I've kind of overspent, but not hugely, not massively. There are many people out there who'd have taken a look at the old scruffy Sandero at the start of this video and thought, you know what, I'm not getting involved with that. But, well, I think I could see beyond that. I could see past it. I do have quite a big bill here, which I'll go through with you later. But for now, I'm just enjoying the fact that I'm in a fully sorted car, which is on retail sale. I took pictures of this today and I've got it advertised for $4,995, which I think sounds like good value. But Auto Trader have said otherwise. They said it's £500 or £600 overpriced. Cheers, Auto Trader. Don't forget to bill me another £5,400 next month, will you? For all your helpful advice. Anyway. I've even got my broken vent fixed. Remember the old one was snapped? Well, I've replaced it. I think that cost me about 65 quid from Renault. I probably could have found one cheaper on eBay, but I couldn't be bothered ordering the wrong thing or waiting 5 days for it to come. So sometimes it's easier to just pay a little bit extra and get exactly what you want. After we last spoke, I took it down to my mechanic for a service, MOT, and 2 new rear tyres. They did that, but they also discovered that it had a blown shock absorber on the rear, and the front discs and pads were a bit ropey, so they replaced those as well. When they plugged the diagnostic machine into the car to find out why the stop light was on, it turned out it was something to do with a flat battery. So at some point, a previous owner had a flat battery, jump-started it or replaced it, and then that light had stayed on. So they cleared all the codes, and I've probably done 10 miles in it or so, and the light stayed out. So fingers crossed, it was nothing serious. Then I picked it up from there and dropped it off at the valeters for a full valet. It was covered in dog hairs, so I dropped it and then made a quick exit before they could shout at me. But they've done a really good job. You would never know this has had a little hound living in it. I picked it up from there and took it down to the body shop for a buff, and it polished up really well. All those little marks have just come straight off. Then I got it back to the garage, touched in any stone chips I could see with some black paint, and fitted some new reg plates. Did that all by myself, obviously. And I think that's about it. The only thing I haven't done yet is the air conditioning regas. I spoke to the guy, but he was busy, so he's going to come next week. And it does need doing that because it is rather warm in here today. So I think what I'll do now is pull over and I'll talk you through exactly what I've spent. I'm hoping there's still a little bit of profit left in this, otherwise this whole thing was just a big fat waste of time. Here will do. Look at this for a view. Nobody's fly tipped on it yet either. I'll knock the engine off in case Greta's watching. Okay, so we've got an MOT test fee, that cost me £40. So it's currently got 12 months MOT with no advisory items. Oil filter £10, oil £25, scan and clear codes, clean gauze on washer bottle, that was all blocked apparently, so my jets weren't working. New heater vent, I was right, £65.48. Near side rear shock absorber, £65. Front brake discs, £60. Front brake pads, £32, 42 pence. Things are cheap on Dacias, aren't they? Tyres, £138. Replace CV boot clip, £6. Labour, £157.50, which takes my total to £632.87 plus the VAT. So my grand total at my mechanics was £751.44. So that's nearly my whole budget gone. But, well, it all needed doing, didn't it? At least I can sell this with confidence now. On top of that, we've got a valet, £70. I've written here air conditioning gas, £60. I know it's going to be £60, but I haven't actually done that yet. But still, it's a cost that I'm going to have to include. And the buff cost me £150. And I've got a set of plates of £15. Let's work this out then. So I paid £2,200 for the car, £751.44. my mechanics, 70 on a valet, 60 on gas, 150 on a buff, 15 on plates. So this car currently owes me 3 1/4, £3,246.44. I think that's it. So 3,250, we'll round it up to 3,250, make the mathematics a bit easier. If I get my asking price of 4,995, take off the 3,250, leaves me £1,745 profit. So ultimately, it was all worth doing, wasn't it? I'm just hoping it sells quite quickly. It should do. This is the kind of thing that everybody seems to want at the moment. It'll do 60 miles per gallon, it's cheap to tax, cheap to run, cheap to repair, all that sort of stuff. So I think that's about it. Thank you once again for watching. Make sure you give the video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Make sure you subscribe if you haven't done already. You can follow me on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and also TikTok. I've created a TikTok account. So check me out there. Right guys, I'll see you next time. Cheers.